Hello, everyone. Welcome in to another episode of the Ash Bros Gaming Podcast. This is episode, or what are we on, 5 now already?
5.
Yes, we
Fantastic.
are indeed really excited to be here with you again. Thank you so much for choosing to listening in. My name is Ash, as one half of the Ash Bros Podcast, and with me is the other half of the Ash Bros Podcast. Ash, how you doing, mate?
I'm good, mate. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for letting me be your other half.
As always, mate. As always, really excited. We're getting into the swing of things now with this podcast, and so far, so good.
So far, so good. Yeah, we've had a couple of technical issues along the way, but slowly ironing them out, I think, hopefully.
Yeah, we're still having a couple of technical issues, but yeah, as you say,
I'm sure we
um,
always will, but yeah, we're
well,
getting through
yeah,
it.
it's one of them things, isn't it? But I
Yeah,
definitely think it's improved since the first episode. Quality of the audio and stuff like that.
absolutely. Yeah, we're getting a hang of it, aren't we, I think?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we got another exciting one for you. We've got a few things to talk about. We're going to talk about the World Cup mode on FIFA 23. We're going to talk about Overwatch 2. We want some feedback from you guys as well. We want you guys getting involved because you will help shape the next episode that we have coming. Now, there'll be more on that later on in the episode. And we'll also be continuing our usual segments, which are why you should play a certain game. Every week, we're going to give you a certain suggestion. Last week we did cover RimWorld, and if you haven't listened to that episode, do go and check that out. That was a good one. And we'll also talk about one game that we've both been playing over the past week or so. So there is a lot to get into today. Before we do that, though, I want to talk about the podcast and how you guys listening on any of your usual podcast apps, whatever that may be, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, all that good stuff. Please do give us a rating and review. That's very, very important. Helps boost us up the rankings a little bit. So we really would appreciate that. And if you are watching the video version on YouTube, it's currently on my Brommer18 YouTube channel, but we're also showing clips on the Ash Bros Podcast YouTube channel as well. So do go and check that out. Make sure to just hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like on the video to let us know that you're enjoying it as well. And hopefully, we'll continue to grow. Speaking of which, as we've spoken about already, Ash, off camera,
Yeah,
we are currently the top rated video games podcast in Ghana. There you go, mate.
fantastic.
There you go.
Fantastic.
So, shout out to any and
Absolutely.
all of you who are currently in Ghana, in Africa, and listening to this podcast. Now, I don't know what that means in the grand context of things because I don't know how many video games podcasts are listened to in Ghana.
Maybe one.
You clearly.
Yeah.
But however many it is, the people of Ghana are coming out strong for the Ash
We
Bros
love it. We
Gaming
love it.
podcast. We do. We absolutely do. And so, keep it up. Keep it up. We want more countries, regardless of the continent, to be, we want to be top of those lists.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. I can't believe it. I couldn't believe it when I got the email. Honestly.
Yeah, it's a mad one, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. I had to reread and stuff, and I had to it's one of them where you're looking at it and you're like, your eyes are like trying to
Yeah,
focus in, thinking that can't be right.
yeah.
Yeah. So, and then you look on, and yeah, it's true. So that's not bad at all. Very, very pleased with that. So shout out to Ghana and the people of Ghana for
Yes, big
supporting
shout out to
the
Ghana.
yes, mate, for supporting the podcast.
Yeah,
And with that being said, before we do get into it, just a quick mention. Go and follow us on the social media platforms. Find us on Twitter, Ash Bros Podcast. You can find us on YouTube as well, as we've already mentioned, the Ash Bros Podcast, or Ash Bros Gaming Podcast, whatever you prefer. Obviously, if you are watching the video version, find us on all of your regular podcasting apps. If you do want to listen to the audio version instead, you're doing something in the background or whatever, and you just want to listen to our voices, then you can do that as well. So Ash Bros Podcast for all of the relevant social media apps. Right then, let's get into it. Where do you want to start, Ash? You want to start with FIFA 23 World Cup DLC
Oh,
mode.
should we dive in the deep end a little bit? Yeah.
Yes, let's do it.
So yeah, the context of this is that I was watching the trailer, I guess it was the announcement trailer, for the upcoming sort of additions that they're going to make for the World Cup. And one thing that I found, which was well, pretty controversial, I guess, is that it's not going to be like the previous one where they make an entire new sort of Ultimate Team game mode. All they're
No,
going to be doing, from what I can see, is adding World Cup cards to existing squad. And they said this is a positive, which made me laugh because it was like, oh, now it's just going to be integrated and like, oh, this is better. This is not better, all right? You're you're cheaping out on us, you know. We're just, oh mate, how could they're trying to spin that in a positive way? Do you know what I mean?
so we've got a few things to say about this. Listeners,
Yeah.
be warned. Turn your headphones down now. Before we mention the Ultimate Team, at first I think it's probably best that we just do a little like a background on it in terms of what it is.
Mm,
Um, so obviously it comes out with every World Cup, and they sometimes do it with the Euros as well. And you have like the offline DLC where you have the tournament and stuff. You have all the stadiums, don't you?
yeah.
And you can play as all the teams and stuff in the World Cup. Got all the group stages. You can do the online stuff with that as online seasons and stuff or online friendlies. And it's all got the World Cup presentation stuff. So that's why it's like a separate DLC.
Mm.
And then on top of that, you also have the Ultimate Team expansion, which usually entails like a separate game mode to Ultimate Team, and you start afresh, and it's just
Mm.
purely the World Cup Ultimate Team, isn't it?
And it's usually the thing that I don't know about you, but I'm most excited for by a mile.
Yes,
It's always just such a great experience, like
yes,
starting over,
because
getting,
there's no transfer market.
exactly, just opening packs and getting
Yeah,
like
yeah,
international cards. It was such great fun.
yes,
But
and it's been very
now
popular.
it's been hugely popular now, and yeah, and now they're just integrating it into the normal Ultimate Team where they're just going to release. They've already got 60 million different varieties of cards, and now this huge World Cup DLC is just going to be like another card for a load of international players, which I think is just, well, it's awful, isn't it? Really.
Well, I'm trying to think what episode it was now. It might have been like episode 3 or something. Where I briefly mentioned it and said how I may partake in Ultimate Team when the World Cup mode comes along because I do like the World Cup mode. But now I've found this out.
Still stand by that?
No, no, I'm not going to touch it.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
literally.
That's completely changed the entire complexion of that.
Mm.
Like so for full disclosure, listeners, I actually didn't know about this. Ash, in preparation, just before we started recording this episode, told me.
I dropped the bomb.
Yeah, you dropped the bomb. It was a literal bomb,
Yeah.
and the reaction was, I was, what, what are you doing? And I've gone and checked the trailer, and it's true. The rumors are true. I cannot fathom this at all. Why on earth would you take the one good thing that gets people buzzing about that mode and take it away? That just baffles me. Absolutely baffles me. It's honestly, just give it to EA to, you know, produce an announcement that people are buzzing for and rip out the thing that people are buzzing about it for.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm just baffled. I'm so baffled. What are you
It's just
doing?
classic EA, isn't it?
It is, but
Classic
I don't
EA.
get why. I'm trying to wrap my brains like why would this be um like more profitable for them? Why would this be something they would encourage? And I'm struggling.
It might just be like them evaluating how worth it is putting all the resources into making this new mode, and it might just be laziness, like, oh, you know we don't get enough out of it to put this much work into it. Just
But they must do.
add some cards into the Ultimate Team. We'll still get money from like people buying packs. And,
Yeah. But
yeah,
I mean, I don't know. They must do. They must do because loads of people are just all over that mode.
Yeah, I know. It's really disappointing, honestly.
Yeah, I don't get it all. So I won't be touching it. I will not. Not going anywhere near that absolute
I
dive of
know.
a game mode.
Are you gonna dive into any offline stuff? Are you gonna do any World Cup?
Yeah, definitely. That's something I always like to do. I always like to take one of the kind of underdog teams.
Qatar.
I was going to say England.
Yeah,
I
about the
like
same level.
to take teams like so like the last one I did like Peru and Senegal teams like that. Do you know what I mean?
Nice, nice. Yeah.
Yeah, and do like the whole World Cup mode and stuff. It helps you kind of. It's good because when you're obviously watching the World Cup, and you watch like these sort of teams who are under the radar, and you spot certain players who catch your eye for them,
Mm,
like, and then you play with them. That's kind of what gets me going for it. Like I remember, like for Senegal, like Ismail Assar,
yeah, yeah.
like no one had ever heard of him, and that World Cup came along, and like he was at, I think he was at Stade Rennes at
Mm,
the time, before he obviously moved to Watford and stuff, and he'd really impressed me, and I was like starting with Senegal, and I was playing with him, and that's the fun of it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Finding
So
hidden gems.
yeah, precisely. So what about you? Were you gonna try the offline mode?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. D- to be fair, in sort of the cutscenes look good, the visuals look good, the stadiums look good. So
As
definitely,
always.
like, yeah, immersing in a World Cup sort of series or whatever. I'm definitely gonna do, but it is just yeah, yeah. I'm just having memories of a previous World Cup modes where it was just so good, the Ultimate
Yeah.
Team
I mean, that
experience. But
14 one, FIFA 14, me and you,
yeah,
because that was when they first introduced it, wasn't it?
yeah,
And me and
smashed it
you
out, mate.
absolutely loved that. I remember being around at
Yeah,
your house all the time, sleepovers and stuff, and we were playing it, like Falcao up front and
mate. Yeah,
people like that. Just quality.
I know.
It,
Yeah.
it was like a true road to glory experience, because obviously, like you say, like as we said, no transfer market. So you got to get things from packs and stuff. And so it was really like, it was a bit of a challenge as well.
Mm. No, 100%. Yeah, it made it such a great experience. Yeah, the fact that you can't just like buy players, you got to make use of what you get, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And it encouraged kind of like pragmatism and tinkering. Do you know what I mean?
exactly. Yeah, yeah,
But now
exactly.
it's just gone to pot.
Just dog shit. Sorry. I couldn't help myself there. I had to drop that one.
We'll see if I censor it or not. And the other thing I wanted to mention was that, or one of the two things I wanted to mention is that obviously it's unprecedented in that it's not going to prolong the lifespan of the game this year because it isn't
Yeah.
in the summer, which is crazy. Like usually, I mean, I'm probably a fairly good one to tell this, from obviously the YouTube channel and stuff, seeing all the numbers and that. Like
Mm,
by the time March comes along and April and May, FIFA is dead. You know what I mean?
yeah.
No one plays it.
Yeah.
And when the World Cup mode comes out, obviously it reinvigorates it. Like it, all of a sudden, more people are playing it, and it gets people back on it. But now,
Yeah.
obviously, now it's in the winter, they've not got that to fall back on,
No. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
which is another weird
Um.
thing.
Mm.
And on top of that, something I don't know if you've noticed, they asked fans to vote on their favourite FIFA songs from over the years,
Oh right.
in
Okay.
the
No,
last
I
couple of
haven't
weeks and
seen that.
stuff. And what they've done is they've made an ultimate playlist, and they're bringing it into the World Cup DLC.
Okay. I like it. Okay.
So
Sure.
yeah, so like all the stuff like "Dreaming" by Small Pools,
Yeah.
"Love Me Again," John Newman,
Yeah.
all that
Yeah.
stuff. I mean, there's many songs.
Yeah.
Viewers, listeners, you'll have to search it yourself. But like,
I mean, to be honest, the music is probably the best thing about FIFA at this point.
yeah, yeah, it's gonna
The
be the best thing about this
soundtracks.
World Cup mode, anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, they're reintroducing that.
I
Um,
like that. I like that. Yeah.
yeah, definitely. I mean, I think I need to give more credit than I have been really to do something like that. I think I'm just being resentful at the moment
Mm.
to EA.
It's hard not to
Um,
be, to be
I think it
honest.
comes from the fact they keep rejecting my my CVs, applications, and stuff for game designer roles on FIFA. which is another story in itself. But like, yeah, yeah, I need to give him credit for that. I think.
Yeah, that's a real nice touch. Yeah, you got to, we can criticize them, but we've also got to give credit where credit's due, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. And I
Mm.
do try and do that, on my channel and stuff. Like, this is probably why they don't take my application seriously, because a lot of the channels are bashing them and stuff. But plenty of times, like in tactics videos and stuff, I will say when the game does a good job of
Mm.
doing certain things and roles and stuff, even though it does a bad job at many things.
Yeah. I mean,
You
we were positive about the gameplay of the new
yeah,
FIFA, right?
yeah, we were.
Yeah, absolutely. And we highlighted many positives, so we're not just continually just being super negative. We're just evaluating the game as we see it and pointing out
Yeah, like we don't want it
problems.
just to be, because obviously it is kind of the thing these days to just bash EAs and it when it comes to FIFA, but there
That's
is
not
a
what
reason for
we're about. Yeah,
that.
exactly. There's definite logic behind it, but that's not what we do. We're not just um, just continually criticizing for the sake of it.
No,
But you can't just ignore problems, can you?
no.
If you see something that's just not right, you got to point it out, don't you?
Well, oh yeah, exactly. Otherwise, people will think you're just being fickle. You know what I mean? Goes the other
Exactly.
way then.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah,
So yeah, I mean, we're obviously we're going on a bit of a tangent now, but
yeah.
our primary objective of this was to say we are now no longer looking forward to the World Cup mode.
No, very disappointing. Yeah,
So disappointing.
yeah.
What are you doing? Why have they done this? They've just taken away what is good about that mode. That's the one
Literally.
thing that was going to actually get me playing Ultimate Team.
Mhm.
I've not played that mode since the last World Cup mode in 2018.
Wow.
So there you go. You know what I mean?
There you go.
That
Yeah.
tells you everything you need to know. And I would have gone back onto it again if it was like how it should be, with the separated, like segregated mode.
Mm. Yeah, it's so shocking because they already, as I made the point before, as they've already got tons and tons of different card types and just ridiculous amounts of
Yeah,
little cards for no reason.
yeah.
Adding in another variant just because it's international, what value is that
Com-
adding?
complete just BS, man. Yeah, that's a great way to put it. Like, what value does it add when
Yeah,
it's already saturated with
exactly,
cards?
exactly. And I just think, yeah, that's really just
Everyone's already
disappointing.
got
And
ahead. Like, if you're like me and I don't know how much Ultimate Team you play. Like, if you're like me, for example, and you come into it having not played Ultimate Team, all of a sudden everyone's got a head start on you
yeah,
because they're using their original teams that they've obviously just spent tons of money on.
yeah, yeah,
So what good does that, you know,
yeah, exactly.
completely
Everyone's
pointless?
got a rainbow flag as a team, like
Yeah, literally.
all the colours of it. Yeah.
So yeah, that really I think concludes that. Thought you got anything else that you want to say
No, I don't think
about
so.
this?
Just I'd genuinely like to hear the audience's thoughts on the
Well, this
World Cup
is
mode. Like,
yeah, precisely. So we
are you
want to reach out
disappointed
to you
like
guys.
us, or
Um,
are we just stuck in our ways and being
yeah,
negative Nancy's?
yeah, yeah. So we want to reach out to you guys, and we want you to let us know what you think. Yeah, are we barking up the wrong tree here?
Mm.
Um, generally, the kind of things I've seen from people is that they're also not happy.
Mm.
And when I say that, I mean I looked in the YouTube comments of the trailer,
Right? Yeah.
and people weren't happy.
No.
Um, so yeah, let us know what you think, guys. This is the first of multiple times that we're going to be asking for your help with this
We're
show
gonna
and
be
your
nagging you
feedback.
today.
Yeah, we are. You're going to be doing your head in by the end of the episode.
Yeah.
So please do let us know. Obviously,
Yes.
Ash Bros Podcast on Twitter, Ash Bros Podcast on YouTube, ashbrospodcast@gmail.com. Right.
Boom.
Right, so what's next? Overwatch 2.
So Overwatch 2. Yeah. So obviously When was this released? It's a fairly recent release, isn't it?
October 4th. So yeah,
October
about a
4th,
month
so
ago as
about a
of
month.
recording this.
Yeah. Have you seen? So have you played the first one?
No.
No. So
Have you?
yes, I have played the first one.
Okay.
Never really majorly got into it. I mean, it's definitely a fun shooter for sure.
Yeah.
Some of the characters' abilities are really fun, and really unique as well. Just some examples, like there's a character who's like a hamster and he can go into like a metal ball and just roll around everywhere. There's a character with like a jetpack and just fly above the map, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know whether it is because I didn't have pals who were playing at the same time, or whether I just there's no real progression. I mean, in the OG COD games, there was
Yeah,
always
you
like
don't
leveling
you
up,
don't
wasn't
level
there?
up.
I think you might level up, but you just get loot boxes as rewards and stuff.
Yeah, it's like the battle pass thing.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh yeah, I've got another, skin or whatever. It's not as exciting as other games, in terms of rewards, from, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so we're thinking of maybe giving this a go, right?
Yeah, so this is where I think we're gonna reach out to you guys as well, because we want to know your feedback on Overwatch 2. Because obviously we're coming into this, neither of us have we haven't played Overwatch 2
No,
since its release. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go away after this episode, we're gonna download it, we're gonna give it a bash, and we're gonna come back in the next episode and reconvene and give our kind of like a small review, I guess.
yeah, absolutely.
And so we want to kind of reach out to you guys for the next episode, and we want you to let us know what your thoughts on it, and then as we have done already in previous episodes, we'll kind of feature any and all of the best ones, kind of feedback and stuff. And the reason why I think this is a big thing for us, for me and you, Ash, is because obviously the reviews have been horrendous.
Yeah,
I
not
mean,
great.
it has been awful, like really, really bad. Like if you go and search on Google right now, for example, just as a real like off the cuff thing, and you look at like the ratings and stuff, it's like mostly 1 star
Mm,
from everyone. People are really not happy, and there's many issues. One was that it's by the sounds of it very much similar to Overwatch 1,
oh
like
yeah,
almost a carbon copy.
yeah.
Like I think I heard a quote from someone at Activision Blizzard. I'm trying to think who it was now. This is really annoying. I should have written this down. It might have been like one of the like higher ups, like not so much the creative director, like more like one of the business end
Okay, yeah.
guys. And he was like, Overwatch 2 will redefine the meaning of sequel.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I
God,
don't know if you
yeah.
heard that quote. He's
That
like, well, it
no,
has
but that
redefined the
is
meaning of
embarrassing.
sequel. You've just released the same thing.
That is embarrassing. Literally,
Yeah,
same character. I mean, they've added a couple of characters, not too many though, honestly.
but some of which, for example, a new one that's just come out,
Yeah,
are locked behind like certain
really.
requirements, like battle pass and stuff.
Mm.
Um, so
So
yeah,
that's not even new content to do with the game, really. It's to do with
no,
battle.
yeah,
Brilliant, yeah. So it really is, yeah. For a sequel, they have not changed it enough, I don't think.
no, which is ridiculous.
Yeah,
May as well just keep
insane.
updating the first one.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
The matchmaking, oh my god. I've been watching some of the matchmaking issues. People like in a queue of like 70,000 waiting hours to get into one game, and then they get into a game and it will kick them out, and then they've got
They
to
got
queue up
rejoined.
again.
Oh, that is really
It's,
not good, is it?
this is mate. So I'm hoping, because obviously you were the one who off screen obviously suggested that maybe we should give it a play,
Mm.
and like kind of give our thoughts and stuff. And I was like, mate, are we even going to be able to get into a game?
Well, we'll see if we can't.
Yeah.
That's going to be a lot of the review, isn't it?
Well, there you go. I
Yeah.
know, obviously, yeah. I mean, I anticipate it won't be anywhere near as bad now because for one, a lot of people have stopped playing it. They'll have just dropped the game, so the demand
Mm,
will be lower.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, we might be okay.
Yeah. And I
And
mean, you'd
people,
hope it's been a month now.
yeah,
You'd hope they're like ironing out some of those issues, right?
yeah. And the fact that it's at Activision Blizzard as well, like they do have a bit of a history of issues with launches,
Yes,
um,
absolutely. Yeah.
on a wide array of games, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
and they just can't seem to nail that. Or
Mm.
nail it. Like they just can't seem to get anywhere close to nailing it.
No, not at all. Not at all. Yeah. I've been games like World of Warcraft. Been really excited for the launch of like a new expansion, and yeah, definitely majority of my experience has just been really negative in
Yeah.
terms of like launch days.
Oh
It's
yeah.
been really dodgy. Yeah.
So yeah, obviously it's just a complete mess. Um, I don't get why you would feel the need to release a sequel if it was going to be so like just bare bones, similar to the original,
Mm.
lots of issues and stuff. Do you know what I mean? Particularly on a free
Yeah.
game, it
Yeah.
doesn't make a lot of
It's
sense to me.
it's a really weird one, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah,
Honestly. Yeah.
because and that's the other thing. Like, how many free to play games like with this style like have sequels as well? Do you know what I
Mm.
mean?
Yeah. It's a really weird move. Um. Yeah. What? No idea.
Yeah,
Really.
so very weird. So I'll be honest, I'm not looking forward to playing it. Um,
We'll see. You gotta go into it with an open mind. You
yeah,
might love
you
it.
do.
It might become
Well,
your
yeah,
new
that
favorite game.
that would be
Probably.
nice. You know, I'm not hopeful of that, but yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. You do have to go into an open mind. I still will say I'm not overly excited,
Fair enough. Yeah.
but but we have committed.
We'll have a
Um,
look. We'll have a peek.
yeah, definitely,
We'll have to think
definitely.
of a name for the segment. Like I don't know, giving it a bash or something, or you know,
You really did think of that one on the
not
spot, didn't
outside the
you?
box. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
We'll,
that's a
we'll
good
we'll
that's
come
a good
back to
idea.
that.
That is.
We'll come back to that. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that's a good idea. If we both like kind of play a game here and there, and then give our thoughts on it. That's a
Yeah.
very good shout.
Yeah.
So yeah, audience, get at us with your thoughts on Overwatch 2
Yes.
and the mess that it is so far.
Have you played it? Have
And
you experienced any of the issues we've spoken about? What are your
yes,
thoughts? Yeah.
hmm
Get in the conversation.
yeah, please do.
We want to hear it.
And we'll really appreciate it. We'll really appreciate it, and you might
Absolutely.
be featured in the next episode as well. And speaking of which, you may also be featured for what we want
Yes.
next.
Whilst
Because
we're nagging you.
yeah, we may as well go the whole way.
Yeah.
We are in the next episode, as well as talking about Overwatch 2. We have a kind of special topic episode, similar to what we did in episodes 1 and 2. And it's going to be what makes the perfect game. Now, we want you guys to get at us on the social media accounts again and let us know kind of the elements that you look for. What do you think helps to make that perfect game? What do you think a game needs in order to be just top notch, really, really good or great? Is probably the right word to say about it. What elements do you look for? Kind of open world? Is it storytelling? Does it have to have certain features, certain elements? We want you to let us know, what does a game have to have if it has any chance of being perfect, whatever that really is, if that's even
Mm.
possible. What does it need to include?
I'm really looking forward to people's answers to this question because I'm looking forward to like the personal answers. Like we've all got
Yeah,
different tastes
yeah,
and we all like different things in games. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to what makes a game click for you. What
yeah,
what scratches that itch. So yeah, please do get in and just let us know. What's what particularly about games scratches that itch, you know?
It'll be interesting to see how it varies, how it differs
Yes, absolutely.
between
Yeah, because
people, wouldn't it?
yeah, we all put different values on, as you say, like storytelling. Are you more gameplay focused? Do you like the gameplay to be polished, but you don't really care about the story? Characters? Is it more character development you look for? Um, is it more depth? Is it more how much choice you have?
Yeah.
I think really looking forward to hearing what you guys have to say.
Yeah. So please do let us know, and we again may feature you in the next episode. So do listen out for that. Right then, on to the next segment. We are going to continue what we started in the previous episode and put forward one game that we believe you should play. Last week we did feature RimWorld. And today we want to talk about why you should play Civilization 6. So I'm going to start this by handing it over to my co-host, Ash. Talk
Right,
to me about Civ 6.
Civilization. Well, Civilization. Firstly, I just want to say the series I'm a massive fan of. I've played Civ 2, I think. So I've
Yeah,
been playing from Civ 2 because my dad had Civ 2. And wow, has the game moved on from there. Civ 6 is a brilliant strategy game. It's one of the games that has the most depth of anything, I think. The amount of like choices you can make is brilliant. I think the idea of making your own civilization, growing your cities, creating trade routes, diplomacy, um, is such a great vibe and thing to invest your time into. The amount of like nights I've just lost to this game and getting engrossed in a game. Oh my goodness, it's crazy. Um, So yeah, you've recently started a Civ 6 save, right? Civ 6 save.
yes,
How's that
yes.
going?
Yeah, it's fun. It's good. It's good. I like to go with a Greek.
Greek culture, yeah,
Yeah, a lot of the time. I
absolutely.
went with Gorgo this time. I think that's the name, Gorgo.
Okay, yeah.
Who is I think part of one of the expansions because I don't recognise her from the original. She's like the Queen of Sparta.
Mm.
And yeah, really enjoying it. And that kind of leads me into the expansions
So
because
yeah, there's a couple of things that I want to sort of discuss with you about Civ 6 because it's an amazing game, but it does kind of have its flaws a little bit. Well, it has its great aspects, and yeah.
yeah, because I remember you saying like you've always been very much Civ 5 over Civ 6, but then you bought the two main expansions.
Yep.
And that kind of changed the game a bit, didn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Definitely Civ 6 over Civ 5 with the expansions, but it's kind of frustrating because it kind of reminds me a bit of Sims 4, where the base Civ 6 game is worse than its predecessor, you know.
Yeah.
I always get frustrated when they like remove features and then include them with DLC because I
Yeah.
just think just include it in the game. Like we're already paying 40
Yeah,
quid.
literally.
But with I think it's Rise and Fall and what's the other one? Do you
Gathering
remember?
Storm.
Gathering Storm. Yeah, it's a really fantastic experience. So speaking about some of the upgrades, you've got like districts that have different focuses. So you've got like your science district with your library and your university. You've got like production ones with factories. You've got military ones. So sort of a different way to invest in your different resources, essentially, I guess, right?
Yeah.
It's really effective.
And all this plays into being able to get a certain type of victory. So,
exactly. That's one thing I wanted to say was
yeah.
One thing that is amazing about Civ is the variety of ways you can win the game. You don't have to
Destroy everyone.
kill everyone. Yeah, You
In
can
fact,
launch
it's
your
probably the least fun, in my opinion.
you're exactly right. You can become world leader by playing, the diplomacy, playing other people, get enough votes. Boom, world leader.
Yep.
You win the game. You've got culture victory, where what do you know the law behind that? Like what's the idea of how you win? Is it basically that everyone just adopts
You
Greek culture?
no, from culture to win culture, you have to have more tourists from other countries than those countries get in their own country.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
So you have like a tourism number. It might be like 44 or something, and it keeps going up as you boost tourism. And your number of foreign tourists has to be higher than all the other countries' domestic tourists.
Right. Got
So
you.
that's
Yeah.
what I'm going for at the moment in my
So you're trying to bring as many foreigners
tourists
as
in.
possible
Yes, yes, get
to
them all
see
in.
your sites. Yeah, absolutely.
Precisely. Yes,
Yeah.
and you can do this in multiple ways. You can like build wonders, which is the beautiful thing about civilization. Everyone starts with a blanket, and anyone can build a certain wonder. So you might find, like, say, Greece, for example, they build the pyramids,
Yeah.
rather than Egypt. It's that free
Yeah.
blanket. It
Yeah.
rewrites human history, basically.
And yeah, world leaders like Gandhi can turn into absolute warmongers
Yeah.
and just invade you at every spot, which I always found amusing. I always found it amusing when I get a message pop up from Gandhi and he's just got catapults and battering rams on my board, and I'm like, what? You've changed, mate.
I know, yeah. So much for the peace.
Yeah. So yeah, that's really and yeah, just the vibe of the game I think is great.
Yeah.
Like speaking to world leaders, trading, as I've said.
Yeah.
Um,
You can have, obviously, so speaking about the types of victories, obviously you have a science victory in which you have to achieve a number of milestones, things like launching missions to Mars, landing on the
yeah, I
moon.
think you have to have a colony on Mars to win.
Yeah.
In total, don't you? I think yeah.
Which is one of a number of things you have to achieve to get the whole science
Yeah.
victory.
Got a lot
Then
of steps.
obviously culture victory, you have the diplomacy victory, as you mentioned, military victory, which is the standard
Yep.
take over everyone. And you can build nukes and nuclear bomb people, should you wish,
That's
which is
super
crazy in
cool.
itself. And you also have religious victory, where you spread your religion across the entire world, basically. We've had a couple of online games where I've got, about 10,000 priests on my doorstep, all from you.
Yeah, try to infect you with ashism or whatever.
Yeah, it was Bowyerism last one,
Bowyerism.
weren't it?
Bowyerism, yeah.
And Karankism
Oh,
before that.
Yeah. See a theme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have many different ways to win. You've got tons and tons of leaders from all different countries around the world. And what that means is that you've got so much replayability.
Oh,
doesn't
100%. Yeah, so much variety. Like all of these world leaders have different perks that make them better at different things.
Yeah.
So you play each leader in a different way. Then you've got like 5 ways. It's like a tree. Like you pick one leader and then you can go in all these different directions. Do you want to start developing Eustacism, or do you want to build libraries, or do you want to just get out as many cavemen with clubs as possible and get revenge on Gandhi? It's such a great game.
I should also say it doesn't have to be a long drawn out game. You can change the game speed and stuff to make it much faster or slower, so you can research technologies and build things a lot quicker. If you're thinking about time, you can also do something called score victory, which is if you do have a time limit or a turn limit, then you don't have to win by the victory conditions that we just spoke about, science, cultural, etc. You just, whoever has the highest score, basically, by achieving certain milestones. So it doesn't have to be this long drawn out process if you're kind of short for time.
Which was often the flaw in Civ, right? It's like everyone goes into a game knowing like, oh, we're in this for the long haul. Like, we're going to be here for the next week playing this game. But
Yeah,
as Civs have developed, they've, as you say, implemented stuff like the game speed, so it's really accessible to just have like a couple of hours and you're done with the game.
yeah,
Um, so again, that kind of adds to the variety in ways to play the game.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
And the final piece that really should sell the game for you, if we've not sold the game to you, then this
this is
next
the
feature is the
podium
game
feature.
changer. Yeah, this is the deal maker.
Yeah,
And that is that Sean Bean is the narrator.
Sean Bean.
Yeah. Rise, Tenochtitlan. To the great beasts of the
Of
Stone
the
Age.
Stone Age.
So there are some people probably listening to this now going, who the hell's Sean Bean? Which is crazy to me. Very fun, just a very famous actor. Very famous actor, plays Ned Stark in Game of Thrones. He's in Troy. He's in Sharp. He's in Lord of the Rings, plays Boromir.
Yeah.
He's in tons of stuff. Absolutely tons of stuff.
If you
And an
don't know
absolute
him,
legend.
where have you been? Have you been
Yeah, I
living under
know.
a rock?
I know. So yeah, and he does all the
Iconic
narrations
voice.
and stuff. Every time you research
Iconic.
new technology, you find a wonder, discover a natural wonder, build something, or you're going into a game and it will give you a brief breakdown of each leader. He talks,
Yeah,
and
he sends you voice notes.
yes, bit ASMR actually, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's great. It's so good. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's just a really nice touch, a really nice feature that is also in the game, and he's kind of a fantasy-esque, or a historical, should I say, kind of pillar, really, isn't he? In like
Yeah.
movies and films and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's really his thing. So yeah, to have him in that game as well, brilliant.
Amazing. Well, if you haven't bought the game by now, what's going on?
Well, you have now
You've
because we've just told you Sean Bean's in it. So.
Exactly.
So everyone listening now owns Civilization 6.
Well, they're better.
So better. It's brilliant. Right, so that rounds it off for Civ 6 on the why you should play segment.
Mm-hmm.
Now we want to discuss one game each that we have been playing over the past week. So I want to throw it over to you, mate. What have you been up to?
I've been playing For the King.
All right, Sean.
A bit of a different one. Have you heard of this game before? I just told you I was going to do this segment on it before.
No, this was the very first time I'd ever heard it mentioned.
So it was an indie game that I randomly found and looked, because it's got like a medieval fantasy theme. So I was like, oh yeah, sure. And it is actually a really brilliant game. So the idea is you have 3 character slots. So you open up the game, you have these different scenarios that you can play through, and you have a party of 3. So you pick your characters from different classes. So you've got like blacksmith, you've got scholar, astronomer, hunters. So the classic sort of fantasy roles, right? Of like tank and caster, you've got healers and stuff. And then when you've got your group of 3, you load into the world. It's like Civilization. It's on a hex grid. So each character has got their own movement points. And it's turn-based. And you also have encounters dotted over the map, which is Pokemon-style combat, is how I'd describe it.
Oh, okay.
So if you go into a fight, your 3 characters line up, and then whoever you're against lines up as well. And you've got an ordering on the top that you can see of who goes first, based on the speed stat. All the characters have their different stats: intelligence, perception, strength, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And you have a selection of moves which are based on your weapon. So there's a ton of different types of weapons, obviously maces, swords, staffs, bows, really unique items as well. Some of them can be quite humorous. And then you pick which ability you want to use, and you have a certain chance based on your stat to hit or miss. So it's got aspects of Dungeons and Dragons as well mixed in. It's got it's done really well. Cartoony art style, which might not be for everyone. but I have spent 34 hours on this game. Really enjoyable, especially if you get really like far in the game and all your
34 hours.
characters. 34 hours is how long I've spent on this game. Yeah,
Blimey.
yeah, it's really good. Especially as I say, if you get invested in, eventually you're beating bosses, getting the gear, and all your characters are kitted out, and you feel really powerful. You battle against like these really interesting enemies. You got different modes of transport, so you can buy a boat, you can buy an airship, which just like flies over the map. You've got
Hmm.
different types of terrain you move through. Like there's a desert area, you start off with like a forest, and each of these scenarios has like a story you're playing through.
Okay.
Um, so whether it's like one of them is the orientation of the planet is off, and you've got to figure out what's going on. Another one is I think a princess has been captured or something, like kind of traditional, you know, fantasy storylines, you know.
Yeah.
But they're really really good fun. Um, and yeah, that is my game that I've been playing this week.
I'll tell you one
Thoroughly
thing.
enjoying.
I kind of looked at it and thought, this looks remarkably like Human Fall Flat. Like, this looks almost identical, like the style
Yeah, I
and
see what you
graphically and
mean.
stuff. And then I looked at the publisher, I think it was Curve Games, and found out they also published Human Fall Flat. So
That makes sense.
yeah, all of a sudden
That makes
I've seen the
sense. Yeah.
links.
Ah, there we go. Yeah.
So
But
yeah,
yeah,
definitely getting that
it's a
vibe.
super fun game. It's £4.50 at the moment.
Very cheap, very
Like
cheap. Then
if you're interested in sort of that style of turn-based combat, bit of fantasy, you want like a fun game to sink a couple of hours into, definitely recommend it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, not bad. Good little indie game.
Yeah, absolutely. Highly recommend. Okay,
Now,
mate. So, handing over to you.
yeah, yeah. I have been playing Heavy Rain.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, a game we've
I
spoken about previously.
yes, we spoke about this in episode 1 when we talked about our top 5 favorite games.
Hmm.
This was number 5 on the list. And it kind of, that episode really kind of made me want to go and play quite a few games again.
Yeah,
As
same.
I've done so, I mentioned I played a bit of Dungeon Keeper and stuff. And now I've been playing Heavy Rain. I completed it. I bashed it out. You can really get through it quite quickly,
Mm.
particularly when you're like me and have an indulgent kind of personality. And once you get playing it, I'll just go on till like 3 in the morning. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
you got to be up for work for like 7 or whatever. You know, but
And you're up at 5. Yeah.
yeah, literally, yeah, as you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and so yeah, completed it very quickly. I think you could get through it in probably like ooh, 8, 10 hours maybe.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, Obviously that's also I've played it. I've completed it quite a few times over the years, so that's at like a fairly quick pace. I kind of know what I'm doing, know where I'm going and stuff in a lot of the sequences.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I won't talk about it too much, like what it involves too much and stuff, because obviously we have that in the previous episode. So you guys, if you do want to learn more about it, go and check it in the previous episode, in episode 1, and why it does make number 5 on the list. But I'll just say quickly, obviously, you'll really push out choice, multiple endings. It can end in so many different ways, and so many important moral, emotional choices, and it will really kind of test you. It will really push you. Even as a game, it just does that so well.
You
And
really care about the story, don't you?
yeah, yeah. You're just made to, aren't you?
Yeah.
Like literally, like it's like an interactive movie, if
It
anything.
is a bit, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Um, just does it really well. Really kind of grips you. And the one bit I did just want to kind of really go into, because I don't think I did this enough justice in episode 1, was I want to talk about the detective elements, because obviously you've got 4 different characters that you control, and you kind of switch between them as the narrative progresses. And one of them is an FBI agent who is trying to find the origami killer, the serial killer. and you're going to multiple different crime scenes throughout the course of the game. And he has kind of like, because he's the FBI, he has these kind of advanced technology, so he can put on like this kind of, I don't know what you call them. They're
Yeah,
like
it's
sunglasses, but they're like God, how would you think of it,
it's
like
like
Google glasses, like
yeah,
taken up to
yeah.
another level. Yeah, and it's like, and
But
he
it
puts a glove on, and all of a
yeah,
sudden he can like scan the area basically.
exactly. It puts him in like a simulation type thing, doesn't
Kind
it,
of,
where he can
yeah, it
like
does.
interact with
Yeah,
different thoughts and files and
yeah,
yeah.
precisely. So you can
It's like
obviously
a
put these on.
VR headset almost.
It is like a bit like VR. Yeah, yeah. And so when you go to all the crime scenes, you kind of scan the area, you're picking up different pictures of evidence, and you can miss evidence. Like you can miss out things, and they could be absolutely crucial to you finding the killer, and eventually kind of stop you from being able to find the killer, and kind of divert your attentions elsewhere if you don't pick up all of these bits of evidence. And then once you have collected them, you go back to the office, and that's when, as you talk about, he kind of puts the glasses on again and goes into this kind of VR world. You can choose the kind of surroundings and stuff, so you're in like a forest or whatever, just as like an appearance thing. And then you go through and scan the evidence, and you analyze stuff. And that is without a doubt, I think, the best part of the entire game. It is so fun. There's something fantastic about it. The soundtrack, um, really just gripping, so gripping. And yeah, played it through, got the ending that I was looking for. Characters can die. Um, they can all die. Um, and I remember the first time I played it, one character, and I won't say which one. I accidentally let die. Like I didn't try to. I just wasn't quick enough. So ultimately you got to be on your toes all the time. But I managed to, yeah, get a good ending. So yeah, very fun. A long time since I played it. Glad I picked it up. It was fairly cheap, I think. It wasn't even £10. It was less than that, I think. And just got it on the PlayStation. You can play it backwards compatible on PS5 or PS4, whichever you prefer. And you can also pick it up on PC now. So there you go. Really fun game. Super fun. Super just interactive. Just fantastic. A really tremendous narrative.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant game.
Right. I think that just about rounds it off. Anything else you want to talk about?
Do we just want a reminder about Movember maybe?
Yes. There should be something, if anyone watching the video version, should be something on the screen anyway. But for those who are listening to the audio version, yes, I am currently doing Movember. Are you currently doing Movember? Have you?
I currently am doing Movember.
You're trying it. So annoyingly on the video version, I haven't shaved my beard. So even though my moustache is longer than my what do they call like the beard, like a chin strap and that, it doesn't look as standout. So I need to actually shave the rest of the beard. But we are doing Movember,
Yes.
trying to raise awareness. Movember is a really good cause. It's there to support men's health, think about mental health, encouraging people to talk, suicide prevention, but also the likes of physical kind of conditions like testicular cancer, prostate cancer. And the whole point of Movember is to grow a moustache, raise that awareness, and not even necessarily for you guys. If you do find the links should be in the description down below. Not only to kind of raise awareness or donate, but also for yourself, like get the check. If you want to kind of be thorough, as you should, go to doctors and just get it checked out, get it looked, have a feel.
Don't suffer in silence.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely not. And don't be shy about it either. I've had mine checked for various, not even necessarily for that reason, but I've had mine checked multiple times. And it's really not kind of, there's a big stigma around it and stuff. It's not like that at all, honestly.
It's not as big a deal as you make it in your head.
No, these guys are professionals, doctors. They deal with it every day. So yeah, honestly, just go and get the check. have a feel of your balls, because that's what you're supposed to do. Like, I know some people might be laughing, going, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, that's it. Like, that's the thing, isn't it, for testicular cancer?"
Exactly. Yeah. Feel for them lumps.
Yes, exactly. So have a rummage around,
See what you find.
go and get it checked out, and just trying to raise awareness as much as we possibly can. Really, we're going to reconvene at the end of November and see how our progress has done.
Ah, indeed, yeah.
Aren't we?
Yeah.
So, well, we are now because I've just said so.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So, go and check out Movember. Go and get the checks, and you'll feel better for it mentally. I can assure you.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Absolutely.
So, with that being said, I think we're going to round it off there.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a good one.
Absolutely. We've got a lot of tasks for you as the listener.
Precisely. We want you guys to get at us. We want you to talk about the Ultimate Team World Cup mode. If you are FIFA players, what do you think about that whole merging it with one? We want you to let us know what you think makes the perfect game, and you might be featured next week in the next episode of the Ash Bros podcast. What elements are you looking for in games to make them great? And also Overwatch 2. Any feedback for anyone who's played that or maybe has not played it because of the bad reviews, let us know. Please do get out as Ash Bros Podcast on Twitter, on YouTube, or you can get at me in the video version on my personal YouTube channel, which is Broma18. That's BROMA18. And ashbrospodcast@gmail.com if you'd prefer to email us. With that being said, we are just about going to round it off there. Thank you so much for listening in, guys. And thank you to you, Ash, my co-host, for making it another good episode.
Thank you, Ash. Absolutely.
Always a fun one. Can't wait for the next one.
Absolutely.
And with that being said, we're going to round it off there. Thank you so much, everyone. And until next time, we'll see you soon.
See ya.